Well, I think one thing the 22Q Center at Nationwide Children's is known for is our expertise in speech surgery. And so our one of the primary goals that I strive to achieve is to help our children achieve the best possible speech through a combination of any speech therapy that they may need and a successful speech surgery. It's really interesting to me that families often will report that not only do they notice that their speech is better, but that their child has become more confident after the surgery and they really want to talk more and they become a little more outgoing, if you will, after that, because they really want to kind of show that new communication confidence. Most of our children, whether they're getting speech surgery or not, will be followed throughout their childhood into adulthood. And that's because in particular speech and language needs or developmental related needs may persist through all those years. And so we're here to provide that hub to make sure that they're getting appropriate therapies and services in their school district or in their community. And we serve as kind of the liaison, if you will, between those community services and then what may be going on in the medical setting. As a whole, we want to see these children do well. We want them to thrive from a health standpoint, and we want them to do well psychosocially. That's why we provide care that goes beyond just what they receive in their medical exam rooms, why we have community services and why we have support group activities and ways for families to connect, because that's what's really going to help them have resilience and to be empowered to have more successful interactions with their peers and in their community as they grow up.
This is Sam Vaughn for Sam's Sports Report. Today's date is... Thank you and good afternoon. This is Sam Vaughn for Sam's Sports Report. Today's date is Thursday, November 23rd, 2023. V cardiofacial syndrome is a deletion syndrome by Eric Ordonez. Most of us, and from another, have heard about 20. Down syndrome is the most common genetic caused by chromosomes, but now you know the second. Syndrome VCFs 2022Q is a DiGeorge syndrome, is another word for it, is the second most common chromosomal abnormality, often diagnosed. It was until graduate school professor Miss Arnold introduced my classmates me one of the new syndromes. She wanted her students in knowledge to appropriately diagnose or provide most effective therapy. VCFs is some of the first speech therapists to notice this disorder and help other professionals become aware of it. In my case, right after learning this unique abnormality, I was able to help students who was misdiagnosed to seek proper plan of care, and rather unfortunately VCFS birth average diagnosis is around 8 to 10 years of age. Early diagnosis become because of cardiac detects, tracheology, or fallet. VCFS is characterized by a variety of medical problems. Some of these include cleft palate. Over cleft palate, we talked about this in many podcasts.
Submucous cleft palate. Velopharyngeal dysfunction.
Those palate disorders. Heart defect.
A cyanotic heart disease.
Chronic heart disease. Both she doesn't have. Facial deficiency. Wide nasal spray. Long face. Hyponic upper lip. Ear defense deficits. Differences allergic shiner, which is a dark under the eye blood.
Vessels
close to the skin. 4. Learning problems, disorders, delayed IQ, 60 to 80, hyper prevalence, ADHD, severe motoring problem, hyper nasal speech, disorganized feeding problem, pathological symptoms. Schizophrenia and bipolar is the most common VCFS. However, my girlfriend does not have this exact diagnosis. She does snore because of her cleft palate and has some other mental health problems with depression. Delayed speech sometimes is notable, though. IQ 60 to 80. 80 is normal for her, and that's probably what my girlfriend tests about, and 80 is no problem. Severe motor oral movement, high prevalence of ADHD, ADD. I mean, probably, but she doesn't lose as much stuff as I do. And her disorganized feeding problems. I don't say she has any feeding problems. My girlfriend always wants to eat, though, again and again and again. As I said, my girlfriend has deep depressions and sometimes suicidal thoughts. The Kansas Jayhawks lost. Now moving on to basketball. The Kansas Jayhawks lost by 10 on Tuesday, but rebounded yesterday to win 69-60. Kelvin McCullough had 14, and DeJuan Harrison added in 13 and chipped in 8 assists, which Kansas led by as many as 11, closing in the last couple minutes, winning the game 69-60. Marquette and Purdue game. Purdue wins 78-75 to win the Maui Invitational. Number 2 team in the country. Last night also, Kansas State wins over Central Arkansas 100-56. State's leading scorer was Arthur Cumula. He had 20. And now we move on to football today. It'll be the Detroit Lions and the Green Bay Packers. The Lions are 8-2 and the Packers are 4-6. You look at the quarterback position, Jordan Love and Jared Goff. For the Packers, you look at David Bakhtiari and Penny Sewell at the tackle positions. That game kicks off at 11:30 on Fox. The 3:30 game that kicks off on CBS will be the Washington Commanders and Cowboys. You look at the receiver positions, and you also look at the quarterback positions for that game. It will be Sam Howell and Dak Prescott at the quarterback positions. C.D. Lamb and Trey McMillan is a player you also look out for. C.D. Lamb has over 1,000 yards already. That game kicks off at 3:30 on CBS. And in the final game of the night, which might be the best one, although by points, it's the best one. 42 degrees in Seattle, and it will be Brock Purdy, who has 18 touchdowns and 5 interceptions. Geno Smith, who has 12 touchdowns and 7 interceptions. Look out for players like Christian McCaffrey, who has 825 yards and 9 touchdowns. Kenneth Walker, who has 613 yards. And also look out for Brandon Ayuk, who has 831 yards. And DJ Metcalf has 646 yards. This game kicks at 7:20 on NBC. San Francisco is favored by 7. This is Sam Vaughn from Sam's Sports Report.